It's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, in today's video, what we're going to look at is this mysterious, tragic situation of these two little ones, these two little angels, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, who have gone missing in Nova Scotia, in Canada. And, they've been missing for quite a little while now, haven't they? I think it's since the beginning of May. And we're now right at the end of May, and I've resisted covering this case all this time because I really do not like covering cases about children. It's very distressing, isn't it, to everybody? And I've just been hoping for a good outcome about this, that Lilly and Jack might have been found. I have been following it, of course. I mean, it's been all over the crime sort of community, talking about it's been all over the news. You can't really escape from this case. So I've been hoping that maybe Lilly and Jack might have been found. I've been resisting covering it just because of the fact that, the last sort of children's case that I covered, like the Southport incident, just left a very big scar, if you like, because I think on everybody, didn't it? And, as I've said before, I don't know how the family cope with it. It's difficult, to hear the details of these cases, that especially the ones that involve children, isn't it? So I've resisted doing it, but I've had so many emails, messages, comments, requests, people asking me to cover it. And I've been sort of, again, as I say, just waiting, thinking, maybe something will come up and I won't need to cover it. I mean, not that I'm going to solve the case, I'm sure. I'm not saying that this case couldn't be solved without me. But at the end of the day, I do have a lot of followers in Canada. And if anything, me, any other YouTuber, except one, I'm going to talk about a YouTuber, which I never ever do normally get involved in drama on YouTube. But I'm so angry with this YouTuber, I just cannot help it. But anyway, so yeah, most people have been covering it. It's had a lot of exposure. There's probably not many people don't know about Jack and Lilly being missing, but maybe just one person that watches my channel from Canada that may know something. Just don't know, do you? Cases like this are normally solved from maybe the public, from information from the public, be it CCTV or doorbell footage, etc., or just like a random memory. Oh yeah, I remember seeing those children and thinking this, or blah blah blah. So yeah, as I say, I'm not saying that it's going to be me who's going to solve the case, but I think the more exposure this gets, the better, because these little ones need to be found one way or another. Doesn't look very positive because they've been missing for such a long time. But anyway, so we're going to have a look at the circumstances of this case. There are searches going on this weekend. I hope there's some news this weekend. I hope it's good news. The trouble with these sort of cases is the more days that go by, the more you cannot imagine that it's going to be good news that comes out. But you know what? It does happen sometimes. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this case. And thank you to everyone who emailed me and asked me about it, or left a comment and said, are you going to cover this? So, at the end of the day, I'm here to give exposure to things like this. And, what I think, why sometimes people contact me and say, are you going to talk about this? Is I may be a small channel, but people know they can come on my channel, discuss what they think. As long as they're not disrespectful to the families or to each other, they can give their theories, and it's a safe place that people can discuss what they think. So I think that's why people want me. There's a million YouTube channels out there that are covering this case, but people like to see my take on it and like to be able to talk about it on my channel where they know that they're not, going to get attacked. Or if they do, do you know what I mean? They feel safe in this safe community, I think, in my channel. So, yeah, thank you for that. So where am I going now? So, yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches, of course. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to everyone who likes my videos. Thank you to everyone who shares them, leaves nice messages, etc. Special thank you, as always, to my members. And every Thursday is Members Live. So why not consider becoming a member? Thank you to everyone who sent me a super sticker, bought me a Ko-fi, PayPal me, supported me in that way, or supported me by, sending me nice emails, leaving nice comments. Just all part of this community that is Vicky Marie Chats. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to take my banner off now. Next thing I want to say, of course, is I can't find my banner to take it off. Next thing I want to say is, hi lurkers, love you so much. Thank you for watching. And hi to replay crew, I love you also. And of course, I love especially the people that come in and join in the chat and are so nice to each other and support each other. So when things like this happen, there are certain cases that grab people's imagination or attention. Not being horrible, but children go missing every day. So why is Jack and Lily's case attracted so much attention? Or why did Summer Wells' case? Unfortunately, this is quite reminiscent, isn't it, of the Summer Wells case and also Sebastian Rogers' case. For the simple reason nobody knows anything. It's a mystery. Summer Wells is the oldest sort of case in that of these three. And Summer, of course, just disappeared. Similar circumstances, supposedly was at home on a similar sort of home environment, really, like out in the boonies, with the grandma living on the site in a sort of a mobile home or whatever. And Summer just disappeared, didn't she? And nobody knows anything about Summer even now, years later. And now we've got Sebastian Rogers as well. He disappeared in February, not this year, but a year. So he's been missing over a year. Again, there doesn't seem to be any leads or any, it's his family his mum that was the last person supposedly that saw him. There's been a lot of conjecture against his stepdad and his mom, and and this is of course what's happening in this case. And I suppose any case of missing children, the suspicion immediately goes to parents, step parents especially, isn't it? That's just the way it is. And that's really what's happening in this case of Jack and Lily. Their mum and their stepdad have been under a lot of scrutiny, but nothing, nobody's been arrested, nobody's been charged. The latest sort of big news about the stepdad, let's have a look at the mum and stepdad actually, is that apparently he's passed a lie detector test. So this is the stepdad, Daniel, and the mum. And apparently the mum is not speaking to the stepdad anymore. But again, there's a lot of rumours in this case like there are in any other. So I'm going to try and go through some of the things that have happened. And remember, until we have any official, until somebody's actually made a suspect or arrested, we really do not know what's happened to these children. And it's quite possible that both Daniel and Jack and Lily's mum are not, have not had anything to do with it. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll all let me know what you think. So, apparently, Daniel has passed a lie detector test. We're going to have a look at that. Now, because it's an investigation, an ongoing investigation, of course, the police are pretty tight-lipped, really, aren't they? But what we do know is this weekend, from today, searches are going to go on. We're going to have a look at where's going to be searched, We're going to have a look at, where this happened. We're going to have a look at some of the interviews and, when the children were last thought to be seen. But the only thing really we know 100% certain is these two children have not been seen for nearly a month. And where are they? Two young children can't possibly survive alone all that time. So that's the one thing we know for sure. What we don't know is what's happened to them. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to those of you who are brave enough to venture into the chat. Hey, David. Hope all well in Escocia in Scotland. Hi, Darren. Hi, Bluebell. Hi, Brit. So, where do I start with this case? Well, I think what I'll start with, just because I just mentioned before about Sebastian Rogers. Now, I haven't really covered Sebastian for such a long time, though there are some things that I want to say in Sebastian Rogers' case. The reason that I'm staying away from it a lot of the time is because of the drama in it. It's just sort of turned into this circus, hasn't it? And one of the people that is instrumental in making this circus and making people and you know what, the only person that loses out, that has lost out in the Sebastian Rogers case, because everyone's too busy accusing either Chris Proudfoot or Katie or Seth or Tony the phony or whatever. The only person who loses out in that is Sebastian, because people are losing interest in it. There's some YouTube channels that day in, day out, it's just arguing about the other YouTube channels. It's nothing to do with Sebastian whatsoever. And one of the main protagonists of this is this person. Now, I'm not even going to show a photo, but, bullshit Betty, bullhorn Betty, what a foul, horrible woman she is. Honestly, I really do try not to get involved in, this sort of horribleness between YouTubers. But I've just got, this woman actually said on a live stream that Chris Proudfoot had chopped up Sebastian and hidden his body without one bit of evidence. And this just shows this clickbait title that she had. She's going to start doing it with Lilly when she sees that it's maybe fading away a bit with Sebastian because of her, because of people like her who are just nasty bitches. I mean, she absolutely is. I hope you're watching Bullshit Betty. You are a horrible, horrible person. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be banned from YouTube. You give YouTubers a bad name. You're a hateful, horrible person. And you are going to hell yourself. And look at these headlines. Remains found. Breaking news. Remains found. Lilly and Jack Sullivan. So she's not saying, like, there were some remains found 3 hours away from where Lilly and Jack went missing. Now, if she's saying, remains found 3 hours, is it possible it could be Lilly and Jack? But she's not. Look, see how that is framed. That is framed as if it is Lilly and Jack. Yeah? And then she's one of those, she'll be having a go at the stepdad, no doubt. I mean, maybe the stepdad is involved, I don't know. But the thing is, without evidence, really, you can't just go throwing accusations about. How does she get away with going on a YouTube channel and saying that someone has chopped up their stepson and hidden them away? How does she get away with that? I mean, she has been taken to court. It doesn't seem to. She's as nutty as a fruitcake. She's a proper Fruit Loop. But she's a nasty, horrible. And this is what puts me off Seth as well, because, of course, Seth Rogers is on her side and phony Tony. How could, Seth should stand up and say, no, you should not be saying things like that. He is Sebastian's father. He should take more responsibility. So now she's starting it with Lilly and Jack now. She's a foul woman. Foul woman, bullshit Betty, hateful person. So I just wanted to start with that to let you know I'm so angry about that woman. I've been, I've been thinking about going on and actually talking about her in a video, just her. I thought, no, she loves that. That's what she wants, all the attention. That's exactly what she wants, isn't it? Because she's a pathetic person with nothing in her life, and she's getting a bit of attention by being a complete cow on YouTube. And you know what? Giving YouTubers a bad name, in my opinion. She's everything that's wrong with social media. Everything that's wrong with social media. Hateful person. So, anyway, I've got that out my system. I've been dying to say that for so long. I'm just so angry with that woman. So she's going to start it now about these poor little ones. But anyway, there you go. Maybe Chris Proudfoot did do something to Sebastian. I personally don't think so. I'm absolutely convinced that he didn't. But you know what? I don't know for certain, but I certainly haven't got any evidence of it. To say that he chopped up Sebastian, literally say that. Anyway, let me get off that subject because I'm getting carried away with it. So let's go back to talking about what matters in this video, which is these two little angels. Just so sad, at the end of the day, we don't know yet what's happened to them, but what we do know is they're not where they should be, are they? They're not where they should be, which is at home, in their own house, safe. They're not there. So where are they? Where are they? Where are these two? So I want to show you, I want to show you where this has happened. So if, like me, you're pretty crap with geography, which I am, where's it gone? So this has happened in Pictou, in Nova Scotia, in Canada. Now, I don't know about you, but really until this happened, the only thing I knew about Nova Scotia is it's mentioned in the song, isn't it? You're So Vain, Carly Simon. And the reason I know all the lyrics to that song is because I quite often sing it on karaoke. Maybe one day I'll sing it in my members live, just to give you all a treat. But it's one of my favourite songs to sing on karaoke. You're So Vain, Carly Simon. And there's a line in it where she says, then you flew your Learjet up to Nova Scotia, where your horse naturally won. So I presume is horse racing in Nova Scotia. It must be famous for that. And here, this is where it is. So it's in Canada, but it's sort of on, it's like an island almost, isn't it? It's not an island, but is it, or is it? Anyway, so it's quite remote, I would imagine. Don't know. Never been. Don't know if I've got any followers from Nova Scotia. I know I've got a lot of followers from Canada. But this is where it's happened, in Pictou, in Canada. And over here is sort of mainland Canada. And of course, yeah, so it's quite far from, where's the USA? No, not that far. So yeah, there's the border into the USA. And of course, if Donald Trump gets his way, Canada will become an extra state for the United States. But I don't think for a minute that's ever going to happen. It's usual Donald Trump grandstanding. So this is where it's happened, just to give you an idea of where it's happened. And it just shows how sometimes cases from right over the other side of the world have an effect, resound, all over the world, especially, these days with the internet. So, yeah, why this case? Why this case? There'll be children going missing in Canada day in, day out, unfortunately. But this case has attracted sort of international media attention and social media attention. So, yeah, let me know why do you think these cases, this particular case, for example, why has it attracted so much attention? whereas others don't. But anyway. Okay, where am I going now? Let's see. So we're going to have a look at a timeline now. This is a timeline on Reddit, which Reddit has some very interesting stuff on it. Because people go on there and talk about cases, and then there's true crime channels who have like put posts up there. So I found this timeline interesting, though bear in mind this was 21 days ago. The police have now said that Lilly and Jack were seen the day before they disappeared with family members. That may not be on this timeline, but let's have a look at it. So the mysterious disappearance of two young children from their mobile home in the rural Nova Scotia hamlet of Lansdowne has captured headlines around the world. It's been more than a week. So this was earlier in May, after they've been missing since the 2nd of May. So this was a week later. So it's been more than a week since police and search and rescue teams began scouring the thickly wooded land and waterways, searching for any trace of 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack. Thing is, these are so young, these children. How could they survive? If they have wandered off, or if they did wander off, how could they survive alone? So you almost hope that they have been abducted, really, because if they've been abducted, maybe there's a chance that they're still alive. If they were roaming around we're going to have a look at the landscape around which their mobile home was, and we're going to look at where the police will be searching. They couldn't, children that young, how could they possibly survive? So that's very scary. Almost better, if you like, that if they've been abducted, at least maybe they'll be alive. Hopefully that their abductor has taken them alive. So the community in the far-flung corner of Pictou County, with the closest town a 15-minute drive away, a few local cars, logging trucks and the big yellow school bus are usually the only traffic to be seen, a network of back-country roads that only the locals know, crisscross rivers and dense forests that swarming with black flies. There's no cellular service. This is interesting, many of the roughly 100 people, only 100 people that live in Lansdowne are related and have been there for generations. So Lilly and Jack, along with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and baby sister Meadow. So Malaya and Daniel, the stepfather, have got a baby together, the baby sister Meadow. And they moved to the community 2 years ago into the childhood home of Daniel Martel, who describes himself as the missing children's stepfather. The children's biological father has no contact with them, according to their family. Mr. Martel's mother also lives on the property in a dilapidated camper with multiple cats and a dog. There are echoes there of the Summer Wells scenario, isn't it? It overlooks the fenced-in backyard where Miss Brooks Murray and Mr. Martel reported that they must have escaped from and wandered off. The following is a timeline of the search for the two missing children so far. So on April the 29th, 2025, is the last day that Lilly and Jack attended Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about an 18-kilometre bus ride from their home. There was no school the next day, and the children were kept home May the 1st and the 2nd due to illness, according to Mr. Martel. Now, this is now causing, they were kept at home due to illness on May the 1st and 2nd. That's causing consternation. And now it turns out the police are saying that the day before they disappeared, so that will be the 2nd of May, Lilly and Jack were in fact seen on CCTV with family members. So even though they were, what I'm trying to say is, even though they were supposed to be ill because they didn't go to school, but they weren't. Well, I'm not saying they weren't ill, but they were seen on CCTV. We don't know the full details. The police are keeping that close to the chest, but it's just something to bear in mind. So, on May the 2nd at approximately 10 a.m., Miss Brooks Murray calls 911 to report Lilly and Jack missing. RCMP issue a vulnerable missing persons alert in Pictou County and ask for the public's help in locating the children, who they say are believed to have wandered off from the home. Police do not issue an Amber Alert, and they say that an abduction appears unlikely and the case does not meet the necessary criteria. So I thought that was interesting. They didn't release an Amber Alert. So let's have a look. I pulled up when we what classifies an Amber Alert. I've got that somewhere. One of the many. So let's have a look at the criteria for an Amber Alert. So according to AI on Google, brilliant, this AI that comes up now on Google, an Amber Alert is activated when a child is abducted and is believed to be in immediate danger of serious bodily harm or death. The criteria for activating an Amber Alert include: the child must be under 18, law enforcement must believe the abduction poses a credible threat, and there must be sufficient descriptive information available to assist in the recovery of the child. And additionally, the alert must be requested by a law enforcement agency. So basically, you can't phone up and say, I want an Amber Alert because your child has gone missing. The police have to request it. So, and then these considerations are interesting. Amber Alerts are not issued for runaways or family abductions unless the child's life is in danger. I found that interesting because if family abducts a child, of course their life is in danger. You know, how many times do people take children away and then delete themselves and the children? You know, so how do you know that the child's life is in danger or not? And the alert should be issued within a reasonable time frame from the moment of the abduction. And while not mandatory, law enforcement agencies can use Amber Alerts as one of many tools to recover abducted children. So there wasn't an Amber Alert issued. The police did seem to think, and still, I personally think they still think, that these children wandered away. Now, there's rumours of a party at the house. Maybe there's drugs involved. Again, these are rumours. I'm literally repeating a rumour there and making it clear there is a rumour. Now, it does seem logical, of course, though, if some sort of party was going on or whatever. You know, it happens all the time. When people live in, they probably would think of that as being a safe place, wouldn't they? You know, you wouldn't probably let your children wander about in an inner city at that age on their own. But that seems like where they lived, it was quite remote, and they probably weren't, you know, there's a possibility they just weren't paying much attention to the children, and the children did wander off. I think that's quite a logical thing that might have happened. And then because of the environment, it's a dangerous environment. There's water, there's probably wild animals. They could trip up, they could, you know, so that I think, you know, that is what the police were thinking right from the beginning, that these children have wandered off. But I don't know. I mean, did they wander off? You know, did they? And why has the mother now apparently, again, rumouredly, blocked the stepfather? They're not speaking. So maybe she blames him because she thinks he wasn't taking enough attention. You know, she said that they were asleep and it was when they woke up, they couldn't hear the children around anymore. You know, so at the end of the day, that's what they say. So let's go back to what I was reading, the Reddit thing that I was reading. Now, let me just put that down about just put a few windows down as always. I've got millions of windows open. If I can put a few down. Okay. So going back to Reddit. So they didn't issue an Amber Alert, but later they issued what's called a broadcast intrusive alert, which is a public cell phone notice that the children are missing. And this went out to people in Antigonish, Colchester and Pictou counties. And the Mounties Major Crimes Unit became involved in the investigation. So that was May the 3rd. On that same day, the mum and the stepdad attended a briefing at the search and rescue headquarters on nearby Lansdowne Station Road. Mr. Martell said Miss Brooks Murray leaves midway through the update to sit in the back of an ambulance. So she obviously got upset. So she departed with her mother. And Mr. Martell, the stepdad, says he hasn't seen her since, and she's cut off all contact with him. Then on May the 4th, Mr. Martell, we're going to have a look at the interviews with the stepdad and the mum. He speaks to the Globe and the Mail about what happened on the morning the children went missing. He said, Lily came into the room multiple times. I seen her that morning and Jack was out playing in the kitchen, I'm guessing, and they slid open the back sliding door. It's almost like silent to hear it sliding. They slid it open. The boots were right beside the door and they proceeded to, I'm guessing, playing outside. They must have got out through the back fence and then they were gone. As soon as I seen they were gone, I immediately jumped in the car and I did all the dirt roads, all the culverts, checked over the rivers and streams. And as soon as I got home, 10 minutes later, I headed out on foot. 10 minutes doesn't seem very long, does it? Just a passing comment. I'm not, I don't know if this guy had anything to do with it or not, but 10 minutes isn't very long to look, is it? So he jumped in the car, he did all the dirt roads, all the culverts, checked over the rivers and streams in 10 minutes. And he got home 10 minutes later and then he headed out on foot. Okay, so the RCMP requests the help of Nova Scotia Guard, a provincially organised volunteer group, to aid in the search. More than 160 people assisted by helicopter, drones, and tracking dogs, and they eventually took part in the effort. So more than 160 people assisted by helicopter, drones, and tracking dogs eventually take part in the effort to find the children in a heavily wooded area around the family's home. But by May the 5th, they have found no sign of the children, despite heavily scanning a 4 square kilometre area around their mobile phone. A report that a child's boot print is found nearby sparks some focused searching in that area. And where that child's boot print was found, that's where they're searching this weekend. And as I say, I've got some video footage off YouTube of the area. And that's where the boot print was found. So because the boot print was found there, only one from what I can gather, that's where they're going to concentrate this search. So in the end, the police gave up the general search and they're just concentrating now on certain areas. So on May the 6th, police took Mr. Martell to the Pictou County District detachment in the town of Stellarton, where he is questioned for 4 hours. He said he was asked to go over details and timelines to the minute and draw on maps where he thinks the children could be. They're easy on me because they know I'm telling the truth on everything, he said. Now, these children are part of like an ethnic minority group, an indigenous. So the chief. Now, I would just want to make an apology in advance here. I'm probably not going to pronounce this correctly, but the chief of Sipekeni Katik First Nation, Michelle Glasgow, addresses speculation around the case, and she asks people to refrain from jumping to conclusions or sharing unverified information, as this can complicate the efforts of the multiple agencies involved in the ongoing investigation. She says that the children's maternal grandfather is a member of the Mi'kmaq community. Again, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Amy Hansen of Colchester County Ground Search and Rescue says that the search has been exhausting and thorough despite the difficult terrain, and that volunteers are not giving up hope of finding the children. Now, because that was still early on, that was only the 6th of May. So I think really up to about a week after they disappeared, there probably was a hope that they might be found alive. Unfortunately, we're quite a lot further down the line there. And, they could have been attacked by animals. Just looking at the chat here, David, could quite easily have been attacked by animals, couldn't they? Or anything really, or they could have been predators in the area. Another thing that occurred to me is if it's true that there was some sort of party going on, which we don't know, of course, if there was some sort of party going on, then there would be people there that maybe if it was a drug party, and no aspersions to people who take drugs. Not everyone who takes drugs is a bad person. I know that. But some people are. So the thing is, if you're having a drug party at your home, if it's true, or any kind of party, to be honest, if you're having a party at your home where you've got people there who are drinking, or, there's a chance that something might have happened to those children because of someone who was invited to that party. Not everyone you invite to your house may be a nice person. Do you know what I mean? Especially if they've been drinking or taking substances. Yeah. Well, yes, Bluebell, there will be some signs if there have been some sort of an attack, but that's why they're going back to that area. So I think the other thing is to not forget, although there's been a lot of people looking, these are difficult areas to search. It reminds me a bit of the Samantha Murphy sort of search for her body and that. You could walk past. These are children as well, so tiny little bodies. God, I hope that it's not bodies that they're looking for, but we've got to be realistic here. They're not going to be easy to find, are they? And also the other thing that bears do, or other wild animals, is they often take their prey to their caves, don't they, and things like that. So quite often people where something like this has happened, if they've been attacked by animals, they'll maybe never found. Maybe some of their clothing is found or something, and then they may be found in caves years later, where the bears have taken them to, because bears or any of those sort of predatory animals, they don't tend to, they take their prey back to their lair, don't they? Often. So that's just a suggestion. There is water as well, unfortunately, near there, which just makes you go cold to know, were they playing in the stream or, in the creek or whatever. So have they ended up in water? But as I say, we're going to look at the terrain very shortly, and then I think we'll get an idea of how difficult it is to search for two tiny children in these areas. So on May the 7th, RCMP arrive at the home. They asked Mr. Martel to hand over his phone, which he said he did. And when asked about how police are investigating the children's disappearance, the maternal grandmother, Cindy Murray, told the Globe, We're not discussing anything right now. The police told us not to. So that is what they, that is perfectly correct. They shouldn't be discussing it. So the RCMP scaled back the search for Lilly and Jack and acknowledged, very sadly, that it's unlikely the children are still alive. We're not packing up and we're not giving up, says Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon, District Commander for Pictou County District. Mr. Martell said he handed over some of the children's stuffed animals to RCMP at the request of Miss Brooks Murray, Lily's white unicorn and Jack's blue dinosaur. Oh. He said he also gave police the baby's white giraffe and the mum's pink bear. It's interesting. That'll be for DNA, will it? Mr. Martell told the Globe that the police advised him they were bringing in cadaver dogs and RCMP divers to search nearby Lansdowne Lake. On May the 8th, they searched the dense forest behind the home in a helicopter. Plainclothes investigators arrived again to speak with Mr. Martell. He said, basically at this point, they just want to look at any tech that could help match up any phones that came into the yard. That afternoon, a friend drives him to the Children Protective Services in Stellarton, where he requests to see his 16-month-old daughter, but he's denied. As of now, I can't be around Meadow, he said, during an interview the following day. With the kids going missing, Children's Protective Services want to keep a tight leash on everything. It's very difficult, isn't it? Because till they know what happened to these children, it could be him who's done something, it could be the mum who did something, it could be the grandma. So, no, I suppose they're in foster care, are they? Or are they with their mum? I don't know. Anyway, school board staff, she's only a baby, so hopefully she doesn't realise what's going on. She's 16 months old. Well, she'll understand that her whole life's turned upside down, I suppose. So school board staff say teachers and students at Salt Springs Elementary have been provided with psychologists, counsellors and other resources. Lily and Jack have been missing. By May the 9th, they'd been missing for more than a week. And Mr. Martell says he's been exceedingly cooperative with investigators. I gave them everything for my phone. I asked for a lie detector test and drug tests. I'm the one trying to move this forward and give any information that I have. So just a little aside, apparently he has had a lie detector test and passed it, according to him. But the police have not said that officially. So again, it's not official information. It's what Mr. Martell says. So he adds that police are looking at the wireless router in the home to see who connected to the internet at what times. A large RCMP truck is in the area, and Mr. Martell says they scoured Lansdowne Lake from above by helicopter and also went into the lake but found nothing. So that's as far as this timeline went on Reddit. But I thought it was a good timeline. It was quite comprehensive. It went up to May the 9th. We are, of course, on the 31st of May. So what's been happening since? Well, let's have a look at some... I want to have a look at the interviews. Let's have a look at this one. So, missing children's stepfather, still hopeful 4 weeks later. So this was the 30th of May. So this is literally yesterday. So this is a current news item on CBC News, Nova Scotia. And again, let me know what you think in comments.
4 weeks since Daniel Martell has seen his stepchildren. 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing Friday, May 2nd, after they wandered out of their Pictou County home. They have not been found after weeks of extensive searching the heavily wooded area.
Every day when I wake up, it just feels like I'm reliving a nightmare of May 2nd. But the main feelings from sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence as of after 1 month. And it's really taken a toll.
On Friday, RCMP say ground search and rescue crews and police will return to the area this weekend, focusing on a nearby pipeline trail where a boot print was previously located.
I know that they're working hard and they're using every resource they have, and it makes me hopeful because that's all we have at this point is just hope.
A vigil of flowers and stuffed animals has grown in recent weeks outside the RCMP station in nearby Stellarton. Since May 2nd, when Lilly and Jack went missing, people here in Pictou County are still struggling to understand what happened and why there are still no answers.
Every day, almost, I go by the RCMP, and it's just so tragic.
So tragic. Look at that! Look at that! Oh, bless. Hi, Angel. Anyway, we'll watch this to the end, then we'll watch it again. I'll comment on it then.
You know, I just feel so bad for their whole family. I'm hoping that they find them.
It just doesn't look good, but I hope I'm wrong.
The warden of Pictou County says many people are on edge and children are worried about playing outside.
Oh, I think it's mostly a mood of anxiety maybe and frustration. They too can't believe that there's not an answer by this long and this many people looking.
The RCMP have confirmed Lilly and Jack were seen on camera with family the day before they went missing. Police are asking anyone who was on Gairloch Road between April 28th and May 2nd to share their dash cam or other footage with RCMP. Martel says every detail helps and could lead to finding Lilly and Jack.
I'm going to keep fighting for the rest of my life to find these kids. That's the only goal I have at this point.
Haley Ryan, CBC News. It's been 4 weeks.
So this is the stepfather. And obviously he's come under a lot of suspicion because that's just how it is, isn't it? The parents come under suspicion, but especially step-parents, don't they? I just don't know. I don't know this guy. This is the first time really properly I've seen him being interviewed. Don't know. At the end of the day, something's happened to these children. Now, they could have just wandered off. Children do wander off when they're not being supervised properly. And I was thinking about it, people will say, oh, it was so safe years ago. I mean, God, I used to wander off all the time. There's lots of times my dad had to come and find me and my friends that we'd go, and of course, I think it was safer then, not only because, I don't think it was really any safer because of child lovers and stuff like that. I think there's always been those kind of people, but it was safer as far as cars were concerned. There weren't many cars when I was young, long time ago. I mean, it wasn't horse and carriage quite, It's what my number one son always says to me. Oh, of course, they had horses and carriages in your day. Yeah, thank you. It wasn't quite horse and carriage territory, but there weren't loads of cars on the road. So it was safer in that sense. And as I say, your mum and dad would always say, oh, don't go out the garden. But of course, as soon as they weren't looking, you were out the garden, going to call for that friend that they never approved of and they didn't like you playing with. One of my friends was called Rhonda, and my dad used to call her Rhonda the Wanderer because whenever I went round to her house, he always ended up finding us in some field miles away, surrounded by cows or something. So children do wander off. It's not always suspicious when children disappear initially, but the thing is, where are they? Where have they gone after that? Because children so young as that, surely they won't have gone far. This is the stepdad. A lot of people suspect him. I just don't know, to be honest. I don't really get a strong feeling about him one way or another, to be honest.
Since Daniel Martel has seen his stepchildren. 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing Friday, May 2nd, after they wandered out of their Pictou County home. They have not been found after weeks of extensive searching the heavily wooded area.
Every day when I wake up, it's just feels like I'm reliving a nightmare of May 2nd. But the main feelings of from sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence as of after 1 month, and it's really taken a toll.
On Friday, RCMP say.
So don't forget, if he's done something, he's had to have killed them basically, and disposed of their bodies. It takes a lot of doing that, doesn't it? But people do it, so you can't presume that he hasn't done it, because these children are somewhere. And whether it's an accident because they wandered off or because somebody has actually caused them harm, let's hope these searches over the weekend bring up some more answers.
Ground search and rescue crews and police will return to the area this weekend, focusing on a nearby pipeline trail where a boot print was previously located.
I know that they're working hard and they're using every resource they have, and that makes me hopeful, because that's all we have at this point is just hope.
A vigil of flowers and stuffed animals has grown in recent weeks outside the RCMP station in nearby Stellarton. Since May 2nd, when Lilly and Jack went missing, people here in Pictou County are still struggling to understand what happened and why there are still no answers.
Every day, almost, I go by the RCMP, and it's just so tragic. Just so tragic. I just feel so bad for their whole family. I'm hoping that they find them.
It just doesn't look good, but I hope I'm wrong.
The warden of Pictou County says many people are on edge and children are worried about playing outside.
Oh, I think it's mostly a mood of anxiety, maybe, and frustration. They too can't believe that there's not an answer by this long and this many people looking.
The RCMP have confirmed Lilly and Jack were seen on camera with family the day before they went missing. Police are asking anyone who was on Gairloch Road between April 28th and May 2nd to share their dash cam or other footage with RCMP. Martel says every detail helps and could lead to finding Lilly and Jack.
I'm going to keep fighting for the rest of my life to find these kids. That's the only goal I have at this point.
Haley Ryan, CBC News.
Yeah, I'm going to keep fighting till the rest of my life to find these kids. Well, really should be thinking now that they're going to be found any minute. But anyway, I don't know. It did seem to be looking down a lot. But of course, he's in an awkward situation, isn't he? Of course, the police will know more about the backstory of this guy. I mean, will it turn out that there's been domestic violence in the relationship? Will it turn out that people say, oh, yeah, we saw him smacking Lilly and Jack? Maybe not. Maybe he was a brilliant stepdad. So we don't know all the full details, do we? But thing is, I just think for people that are cast suspicion upon, and they've not done anything. I mean, it must be awful. It really must be awful. So that's the stepdad. We're going to have a look at the mum. Let me just put a couple of windows down. I've got an interview here with the mum. So we'll have a look at what we think when the mum's talking.
I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
I mean, look, horrible, horrible.
Just staying as hopeful as possible.
I'm going to play that one more time. I'm just going to go and get some more Coca-Cola because, God, it's very hot here in Spain. I don't know what the temperature, she said it had been raining, was it? We're on 31 degrees here in Spain this weekend. So, yeah, it's a question of just hiding in the house for me, if you like. Plenty of fluids, just sort of chilling out this weekend. But, yeah, let me know what you think then of their mum.
I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Okay. Let me just turn that
Just
off.
staying as hopeful.
So, turn that off. I'm back. Yeah, so that's the mum talking. She reminded me a little bit, for anybody who we followed the Nicola Bulley case. Some of the things she was saying were sort of reminiscent of what Paul Ansell said. I mean, obviously with Paul, it was Nicola who was missing. And he was saying like he didn't want to spend another night. That's the voice note that he made Sky News. Couldn't spend another night without Nicola in the house, and like, you know, I just don't know how people get through these things, because that first day you'd be thinking, oh, they're going to be found, and then every day that goes after that, you'd really be, you know, your hope. She talked about hope, but your hope would be fading, wouldn't it? It's difficult, isn't it, to imagine that two little children like that could be surviving in the woods. But hi Raven, thank you for watching. Oh, you're from Canada. I expect it's a big story, is it, in Canada at the moment? It seems to be a big story all over the world. Now, there's still a chance. Obviously, we can't think that they could still be alive somewhere and have got lost in the woods. We've got to feel positive. We've got to try and keep hope going, like she says. Maybe they'll get found confused. I mean, it has happened, you know, where children have been found, you know, wandering around, and they could have just gone somewhere and be hiding somewhere waiting to be discovered. Or they could have, you know, somebody could have kidnapped them. They could be alive somewhere. You know, they don't necessarily, even if they've been kidnapped by somebody, doesn't mean to say that they are dead. So we've got to, you know, feel positive like that. But for the police to be going back and rechecking these areas, they obviously feel that there's a possibility that they might be out there. And of course, that boot print was found. So, yeah, that was the offence as well to scale. How did they get over the fence? But the police seem to be following that, though, this theory, but maybe they're just exploring all the avenues. So what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the area that they'll be searching. Let me just put, again, some windows down. So this area that they'll be searching is called, is it the Pipeline Trail in Nova Scotia, the Pipeline Trail. So I think this YouTube video from Ladybug Paper Company, but it gives trails, you know, throughout Nova Scotia, the Long Lake Provincial Park Pipeline Trail. Now, the other sort of scary thing that's in there is Long Lake, you know, wherever there's water, if by some miracle they did, you know, just wander away. Whenever there's water, it's always terrifying, isn't it? Because, you know, so many missing people get found in water. So let's have a look at this, just to give us an idea.
Check out their full line of products at www. Thing about this trail, at least this trailhead, is it butts right off the main road. So you park on the side of the road and you come in. And so far, I haven't seen any markers, and that may lead to a problem later on. Now, that being said, if we do get lost, there is an actual main parking lot to the provincial park, and we can always make our way there and then backtrack via the road. But as of right now, it's going to be interesting finding our way back. And it was interesting. With so many little side trails scattered throughout this park.
No, so it's interesting. I found this very. I don't know if it's the exact spot that the police are searching, but it is the pipeline trail that they're going to be searching. They're going to go back to where that child's boot print. A child's boot print was found there, but it doesn't mean to say it was Jack or Lily's boot, of course. It's interesting because this guy, who's obviously an experienced hiker, he was saying that they got lost on this trail. So, you know, you can imagine that children going into that, be very easy for them to get lost, wouldn't it? So just showing you the terrain, that's all, just out of interest.
We relied on our trail map. Although not sponsored by, we do tend to use the All Trails app. Not only can you see the marked trail on the map, it also tracks yourself using GPS, allowing detailed information about your exact location on the trail. Being a larger park, it offers a variety of trails, most of which include some beautiful views of the lake. We have chosen to hike the Pipeline Loop in this video. This 9.8 kilometer trail, or 6.1 miles for our friends to the south, was the longest trail we have attempted this year. This out and back trail offers a wide array of smaller paths within the main path, allowing you to experience different views on the way in and on the way out. At an elevation gain of 198 meters, or 650 feet, this mildly hilly trail could be a challenge for those who aren't used to the distance when combined with this elevation. Plus, the trail is scattered with rocks and tree roots. As our hike.
So yeah, it was these kind of bits of it that I found interesting, because I don't know if this is the exact place where Lily and Jack have gone missing, but it's along that trail, but it's probably a big trail. But looking at, you know, you can imagine that it would be, you know, it's difficult terrain, and difficult terrain to search, of course, as well.
Scattered with rocks and tree roots. As our hike continued, we made it to the main attraction, the stunning blue waters of Long Lake.
God, you couldn't search that lake, could you? It's massive. It's massive.
This area has seen a lot of change in the last 100 years or so. The area was used primarily as a water reserve for the city of Halifax after farming and granite mining finished in the area. A pipeline was built to connect several lakes in the area, allowing for the water to be moved and diverted, with the use of a dam built by the adjoining Pine Hill Lake. It wasn't until 1984 that this area became a provincial park and the city's water reserve and supply was shifted to a new area. There are times along a hike where you just wonder what things look like from a different perspective. Once we made it to this rocky crossing, all we knew was we had to see it from the air.
Gosh. Now, the other thing about Canada, of course, and the same as where Summer Wells went missing, these are just massive areas. You know, Canada's a big place with, you know, lots of woods, forests, lakes, trails. It's huge, enormous, isn't it? So where do you even start looking, really? Two little children. What I'm saying is, if they have come to foul play and they've been hidden somewhere, how would you ever find them, you know? So anyway, it's important to remember they were seen apparently the day before they disappeared. So although they'd been off school for 2 days, they were seen on that second day. So, you know, obviously it seems suspicious that they were kept off school for 2 days. Makes people wonder, did they disappear before they were reported missing? But anyway, they were seen. The police are not saying the exact circumstances of how they were seen, but they're saying that they were seen on CCTV with family the day before they disappeared. Maybe one day we'll get to know exactly when that is, but so what I'm trying to say is it seems like they can't have disappeared before the mother reported them missing. I do like these kind of YouTube videos and that show you, you know, when the drones have been game changers, haven't they, in many things, not only in true crime, but just generally. To be able to see a trail, you know, in inaccessible places like this by a drone. And also when you, even if somebody could access it and walk through it, you get this such a different perspective, don't you, when you see it from above. Drones were a brilliant invention, actually, weren't they? Wow. You know, it sort of reminds me of all sorts of things. It reminds me a bit of the Jay Slater case, you know. And yes, the thing is, there's so many places that are dangerous when people go, even experienced hikers, when they go into places, get into difficulty, don't they? In some of the, and sometimes it's some of the more inaccessible places, and sometimes you don't realise if it's first time you've gone on that trail, and you don't go with a guide. You don't realize just how easily and quickly you can get into trouble thinking you're going, you know, I'm going to give you a little bit of waffle now. You know, I know some of you like my waffle and some of you don't, but I'm sorry, I'm just going to, you know, years ago when I lived in Reading in the UK, and we used to go rambling every weekend. I loved walking through the woods, etc. And we had like, we didn't have a guide, obviously, but we had a book, you know, that gave these sort of trails, if you like, and they'd give you a circular trail. So you'd park your car, set off on the trail, and it would take you a circular route. So you came back to where your car was. And most of the time it worked fine, and we followed the trail and we had no problem. But I do remember one time a friend of mine, and it was mainly me and my partner used to do these walks, but he must have been, I don't know why he wasn't there that day, and it was me and my friend, and we were, you know, going where we thought we felt comfortable and we knew what we were doing, and then just suddenly we realized we were going thicker and thicker into, you know, there was like a clear trail one minute that we were following, and the next minute we were like in the middle of this. There were brambles, and they were like, you know, right up to our noses. We couldn't see in front of us. We were like, we'd obviously taken the wrong turning, and we were like just enveloped with foliage, and they were like thickets, and they were pointy things pointing at us, and thorns, you know, and it was horrible, and we couldn't see where we were walking, and they ended up being taller than us, you know, the foliage, the trees, and they weren't trees, they were like bushes, but they had thorns on them, and we were sort of like, they were taller than us, and we didn't know where we were. We'd obviously and these are days before mobile phones, you know, so you couldn't just put on your Google thing and, you know, try and get yourself back to where you started from. If you got lost, you had to find your own way out, like just with instinct, really. And anyway, you know, obviously we did find our way out and it was fine, but we could have easily, when I think about it now, could have easily gone down a hole or into a stream, or, you know, because we just couldn't see. We were just really walking blindly. So, you know, it's easy to get lost. And that's besides animals and things like that that might attack you, or weirdos that might be out there in the woods.
So once you find yourself at this marsh area, you actually do have to cross all the way over in order to finish the rest of this trail. So we're at this point now, and we're going to see if it's easy or if it's difficult to make our way across this. Water crossings. Perhaps the most enjoyable yet annoying part of any hike. We both appreciate the variance and the challenge of these types of crossings, although they do give us a hard time from time to time. Well, for some of us anyway. The second half of the hike is where you gain elevation. You get some great views of the lake below, and the remaining.
It's very beautiful, isn't it? I have to disagree with you there, David. When I was little, I cycled my bike once right up to the bus station in Cholton. I was only about 4. After, I was leaving home. I was annoyed with my brother, and I decided I was going to leave home. And I got on my 3-wheeler bike and rode to Cholton bus station, which is miles away from my house. I think young children do sometimes wander far distances, especially when there's 2 of them. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm not saying that. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying I don't agree that young people don't wander far from home. I think they do, and they get distracted. There was 2 of them. I think you could see that they could easily get distracted or even lured away. So, yeah, I have to say that to me, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they got lost. I'm not saying that's what happened. I have no clue what happened. But to me, I don't think their ages. I think, if anything, their ages, because they get distracted and it all looks exciting out there. I think young children do wander off, especially in that sort of environment.
Remainder of the park in the background. A pleasant surprise for us along this trail was this stunning stream. The water itself reminds us of root beer with its deep.
Yeah, and then these streams, do you know what I mean? It's like, and kids like to play in water, don't they? They could even be throwing sticks into the stream or paddling in the stream, or just there's a million sort of possibilities.
Blue and brown colors. The real showstopper for us was the extensive and beautiful network of tree roots making their way along the ample water source of the streams and waterfalls. Some of you may be deterred by the long distance of this hike. Be warned that you will likely be tired by the end of this. But this trail does offer a lot of beauty. If the length is the biggest factor for you, look into several smaller loops that can be chosen within the park to see the exact same scenery.
Look at that poor little dog. It's like he's trying not to get his feet wet, hopping from stone to stone. Like this, to me, I just forget it. I loved rambling. I like rambling through the woods and that. I don't want to be hopping on stones over water. That just wouldn't appeal to me at all.
Without the commitment of a 10K trail, as this trail can be accessed at different points from several start locations, making this more manageable.
Oh my God.
If you feel this trail is one you would love to do, or some.
Just watching it, just setting himself up for an accident, really, aren't they? How easy it'd be to just slip off that, no matter how young and fit you think you are. Just carrying a dog, going over that stream, if the poor dog didn't want to put his feet in the water, it's not a dog that likes swimming by the look of it. So, people do put themselves in jeopardy, don't they? And then something will happen and then they have to get out the bloody mountain rescue or whatever.
Somebody who would love this material, feel free to share it with them, because together we can share the world.
Anyway, I thought that was an interesting video. I don't know that Jack and Lily did go wandering off, but you know what? At the moment, all things are, nobody knows. So I suppose all things are. Let's have a look at this video. So what is important that's come out is the police saying now, let me just turn there, that the police are saying now that Jack and Lily were seen the day before they disappeared or were reported missing. Let's have a look at that video.
The search for the missing Sullivan siblings, Lily and Jack, will resume in the morning. Police announced they'll be joined by ground search and rescue teams to once again head into wooded areas. They're going to focus specifically on areas around Gairloch Road and the nearline pipeline trail near the family's home. It's also where a boot print was found in earlier searches. The 4- and 6-year-olds have been missing for a month. Earlier this week, RCMP revealed video exists of the
a month. Oh, God, it's horrible, isn't it? The thought of it, these poor little things. Oh, please, God, I just hope they're all right. Somewhere they might be, but, you know, just a month. When you say a month, it's like, it seems longer than 4 weeks, doesn't it?
Children with the family, and that video was taken before they vanished.
So a video of them with
The
the
search for the
family.
missing Sullivan siblings, Lilly and Jack, will resume in the morning. Police announced they'll be joined by ground search and rescue teams to once again head into wooded areas. They're going to focus specifically on areas around Gairloch Road and the nearline pipeline trail near the family's home. It's also where a boot print was found in earlier searches. The 4- and 6-year-olds have been missing for a month. Earlier this week, RCMP revealed video exists of the children with the family, and that video was taken before they vanished.
Okay, so, right, I think that might be all I've got to show you for now on this. Oh no, got one more video to show. So this is the police, what the police had to say. This is like a police conference.
Been here because the RCMP in Nova Scotia are providing a live update in the ongoing search for 2 young children, Lilly, Jack Sullivan. They have been missing for most of May, last seen on May the 2nd. The RCMP now asking for the public's help. Any video they may have. Let's listen into some of this now.
Underwater recovery team and several aircraft scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on May 7th. Additional searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. RCMP officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We're using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. I'm going to just repeat that section. RCMP officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We are using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Jack and Lilly or who has video footage to share with police is asked to call the Northeast Nova Major Crimes Unit. To remain anonymous, you can also contact Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers. Is there anyone here who would like that done in French?
All right, so we're just bringing you a little bit of this. This is an RCMP update going on right now in Nova Scotia on the search for 2 young children, Lilly Sullivan, Jack Sullivan, their siblings. They wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia on May the 2nd. There have been ongoing searches. The kids have not been found. Investigators have been looking through hours of video from the area, trying to figure out where they might be. And they're now asking for the public's help as well, because it has been almost a month now and they still have not found the children. We're going to keep our eye on this story for you from Nova Scotia, bringing updates as they come into our newsroom here at CTV.
Okay, so I think I might have one more video. I'm not sure if I've showed this already or not. Maybe I have, but yes, we've seen that one. Or have we? Oh, let's watch it again anyway.
For the missing Sullivan siblings, Lilly and Jack. The search for the missing Sullivan siblings, Lilly and Jack, will resume in the morning. Police announced they'll be joined by ground search and rescue teams to once again head into wooded areas. They're going to focus specifically on areas around Gairloch Road and the nearline pipeline trail near the family's home. It's also where a boot print was found in earlier searches. The 4- and 6-year-olds have been missing for a month. Earlier this week, RCMP revealed video exists of the children with the family, and that video was taken before they vanished.
Yeah, so that's where we are basically. So the searches are going on this weekend. So by the end of the weekend, So, sorry, just totally distracted me in that when you get some nutter coming on the chat. If we just don't know, do we? So this is where we are. So it could be foul play. It could be foul play by the parents. Could be foul play by nothing to do with the parents. Somebody seen the children playing outside in the garden and taking advantage of the fact. And if there was a party going on, there were other people in that house, weren't they? Not just the parents, although the mum and stepdad are saying that they were asleep and they woke up and just wondered where they were. So no, the children's biological father, Kelly, apparently doesn't have any contact with them, but I don't know why. But apparently there is no contact with the biological father from what I can gather. Anybody knows any different from that, please say so. But as far as I know. So, yeah. It's a very sad case at the end of the day. These are two little children who can't, at the end of the day, children that age can't survive on their own for a month. So, we best hope that they are with somebody, because how could they survive on their own for a whole month, at that age? So, yeah, let me know in comments what you think, anything you think I've missed in what we know so far. I don't. Yeah, maybe Raven, I don't know. But again, there's so many rumours going on in it. So it's going to be one of those cases that's going to have a lot of rumours, because the police, obviously, they're only giving out limited information because it is an ongoing investigation. So anyway, so I've presented to you what this case is about. I want to thank everybody who suggested this case, who asked me to cover it. I just hope, is it possible that there could be a positive outcome to this case? Let's hope so. These children might be found. They might be hiding somewhere, scared, terrified, or somebody might have them somewhere, somebody who's not going to actually kill them, at least. Who may, they may be rescued from wherever they are or wherever they're being held. Just think, we've just got to wait and see, haven't we? So, yeah. Yes. Oh, well, I hope so, Ravenstar. The RCMP. So that is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, is it? Is that what that stands for? I'm not very good with initials, but yes, let's hope so. They isn't that what they say about the Mounties? They always get their man. Wasn't that the phrase that they used to say about them? Yeah. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. In fact, I'm just wondering how much, because I've not been lighting candles for a while because my chest was really bad, but it's a little bit better. So you may have noticed I'm not coughing, spluttering, sneezing my whole way through a video, at least. So I'm going to light a candle. So I'd stopped lighting candles because they're perfume candles and they seem to get on my chest. But look, and this is not a candle because I think that they're deceased. This is a candle for positivity, just to hope that, some positive news comes out of this. Do you think it's interesting that apparently, oh great, won't light. So for some reason the wick's not working, probably because I haven't used it for ages. Why has the mother blocked, if it's true, they don't see the mother and stepfather, there's something going on there. Is the mother annoyed with the stepfather? Why are they not speaking? Does she suspect something? Or maybe she just blames him, for, I can't light the candle because I have to light a virtual candle instead. The candle won't light. I need some more candles, actually. Let's put the virtual candle. Yeah, candles just for positivity, not that I think necessarily they're deceased, by the way. Let's hope some positive outcome this weekend. So, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for caring about Jack and Lily. And yeah, let's see what happens. As with all these cases, you can be 100% certain the police know a lot more than we do, but they won't release all the information. You know, and if they do suspect the stepfather or the mother or anybody, there's certainly not been any arrest yet. So, oh, thank you. I am better, Raven. I'm actually a lot better today, but I was the past week. I was struggling through some of my videos, but no, I'm fine now. But thank you. Okay, so don't forget to like. Put your fingerprint on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget, of course, to press all notifications if you want updates on this case and all the other cases we're covering. On Monday, of course, the mushroom murder trial resumes in Australia. So we'll be looking, hopefully that will get finished next week. Let's hope it's in the 6th week, hopefully it's drawing to a conclusion. And I will be back later today with a video about a Spanish crime. So, you know, we've been all over. We're in Canada. We'll be going over to Australia on Monday. And tonight, or it may possibly be tomorrow, we'll see how it goes, I will be talking about the Anna Knežević case. This very interesting news that, in fact, David Knežević, who took his life while he should have been going on trial this month, or June. David Knežević, who, well, I'm not even going to say allegedly, who definitely murdered his wife, Anna. He was supposed to go on trial this month, but he's removed himself from this planet while he was in prison. He's self-deleted. And, you know, it's very sad because he's never told where Anna's body is. She's another person who's been searched for. But it turns out that his brother, his ugly brother, I can't say he's ugly by name, ugly by nature, he's implicated in the planning and the after of Anna's murder, and he may know where Anna is. So there is still a chance that somebody might come forward and say where Anna is, because she needs to be found and taken home to her family. Anyway, that's for another video. But if I hear anything about Jack and Lilly, any developments, I've adopted this case now. I will be following it through to the end until, you know, these two little ones are found one way or another. So thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.